Today's episode of The Real Deal with Damian Adams is brought to you by Quip. Quip is the premier company when it comes to taking care of your oral needs. So if you need to take care of your mouth and do it in a respectful manner that your mouth deserves, go to tryquip.com/therealdeal and you'll get $5 off of refills for your electric toothbrushes, bristles, and all the things you need to truly take care of your mouth on the run. It's the best company when it comes to taking care of your oral needs for anybody on the go. So go to tryquip.com/therealdeal and you'll get $5 off your refills. Thank you for listening to The Real Deal with Damian Adams. This is Real Sports Talk for the Real Sports Fan. And I definitely appreciate all you Real Sports fans who are listening right now. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, go ahead and give us that 5-star rating. That 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. That 5-star rating and review will definitely be appreciated. If you do not know what Apple Podcasts are, if you have an iPhone, see that purple thing on your phone that you didn't know what it was? Press that. Search The Real Deal with Damian Adams and give us that 5-star rating, all right? If you're listening on Spreaker Radio, on the 3-Point Conversion Station, we appreciate you as well. The 3-Point Conversion Station is where fans' opinions matter. So if you think the show is hot, let me know how hot you think the show is. Don't hold back at all. If you think the show can improve, let me know as well. I would appreciate your constructive criticism because I want to be great at this. And I can't get great without, a little critique here and there. So I'd appreciate it. But I'm very excited about today's show. Doing another bonus episode. And usually the bonus episodes have something to do with a holiday or something that's going on. And this one, since it's March, and March is St. Patrick's Day, I thought this episode should be about the top 5 luckiest motherfuckers in sports. And sorry for the not warning you, but this show will be explicit because I feel like when you talk about lucky people, the word motherfucker has to be involved. Right? And like the late, great Bernie Mac said, don't be afraid of the word motherfucker. It's just a person, place, thing, or noun. And it's just used to describe different things. And in this episode, we're going to be describing lucky motherfuckers. And of course, I can't do this by myself. So I am joined by Kelly Rattar and Rashawn Reeves from the Red Zone Live. How you doing today, Kelly?
I am doing fantastic. I am so happy I get to be on a Lucky Motherfucker show because I consider myself a very lucky motherfucker.
How you doing today, Rashawn?
Listen, man, I'm happy as hell. How you doing, Kel, Damian? I'm just glad that I get the chance to say motherfucking on this show.
It is a great word to say. It just feels freeing when you say the word. It just definitely just lifts some weight off your back from the day. It just makes you feel good. So I'm glad that I get to share this with you guys today. And you guys had an excellent episode of Around the Red Zone last night talking about the NFL Combine and all the things that go into the Combine when you talk about racial and class, being different. Where can people listen to that show and your show on Friday nights? I'm going to start with you, Kelly.
Well, you can get us on blogtalkradio.com/momentum shift live on our normal show, The Red Zone with Kelly and Rashawn, live from 7 to 9 p.m. on Fridays. That's Eastern time because we are East Coast people. And our brand new show, Around the Red Zone, is a new sports debate show. You can catch that Monday nights from 7:30 until 8:30. 1 hour, we'll debate the hottest topic from the weekend. And you can follow us on Twitter at The Red Zone Live. We have the Facebook page, The Red Zone Live. And then, of course, you can follow me at KELLIERUTTAR.
Yes, please do that. Rashawn, what can people follow you on social media?
Definitely, like Kel said, at the Red Zone Live, make sure you guys follow that, especially on show night. Very, very entertaining. Our media manager, Ralph. He's very entertaining on Twitter. But you can follow me personally at BabyBlack1977. That's BabyBlack1977.
Okay, so go ahead and follow this man. This man is now 1,000 there when it comes to followers. So you might want to go ahead and jump on the train now before this, before he gets too big and it's not cool to jump on the train no more. So go ahead and follow this man on Twitter. And I really enjoyed the show you guys had last night. I thought it was a very interesting conversation about the NFL Combine and how, of course, Lamar Jackson's been a big topic because some people want him to play receiver and he's a quarterback. Looks like a pretty good quarterback to me and most people. But a lot of people, there's some other people who don't see that for some reason. I thought you guys really broke that down well. So if you want to check that out, go to golden2.com to check out the replay, okay? And very excited because I think you guys are perfect for this episode. So like I mentioned earlier, we're going to be counting down our version of our top 5 luckiest motherfuckers in sports. And it's all time. So it could be anybody from any age in sports who we think are lucky. And our criteria of lucky could be different. So we need you guys who are listening to go to The Real Deal WDA on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and let us know whose list was the best of lucky motherfuckers. All right? So, of course, we always go ladies first. And we're going to have Kelly start. Who is number 5 on your top 5 list of lucky motherfuckers?
Alright, I'm going in order of I don't want anybody to steal any of my lucky motherfuckers. So, my number 5, luckiest motherfucker in sports. This is current, but I'm going back to the past for why he's a lucky motherfucker. And that would be Tom the Cheater Brady. And the reason why I say Tom Brady is a lucky motherfucker is he was drafted in the 6th round of the NFL draft. 6th round quarterbacks don't usually do all that well. There are some exceptions to that, but he was a lucky motherfucker, first of all, that he was drafted. And then he was a lucky motherfucker that he was drafted by the Patriots with Coach Bill Belichick. Then he was a lucky motherfucker when Drew Bledsoe, one of my very first sports crushes of all time, became injured, and he got to go in and play. And then he was a lucky motherfucker because of some unheard of rule called the tuck rule. Come on. Who has heard of the tuck rule before Tom Brady? Has it ever been called before him? Has it ever been called after him? No. Lucky motherfucker right there. That allowed him to beat the Oakland Raiders because the refs essentially stole that game from the Raiders, gave it to the Patriots, which allowed the lucky motherfucker Tom Brady to go on and win his first Super Bowl and start his legacy. Not to mention all the times he's been a lucky motherfucker, getting out of cheating scandals, getting rid of his suspensions, getting it down to just 4 games when it should have been 10 because he cheated football, and everybody loves him. And he's married to a supermodel. How can you be married to a supermodel and not be called a lucky motherfucker? So that's why Tom Brady is my number 5.
Okay, I definitely feel that pick right there. How you feel about that pick, Rashawn?
Oh, man, Kel was on the same wavelength. I was going to choose Tom Brady as my number 5 as well.
That's why I get first.
So I had Tom Brady on my list as well, just to add to what you were saying. So for the supermodel part, yes, he married a supermodel, and not only is it a supermodel, it's one of, if not the biggest supermodel in the world. Tom Brady is a professional football player, and his wife is the breadwinner in the relationship. That's the definition of lucky. Like there's no bigger luck than that in a relationship, to be already a millionaire and your wife is the breadwinner in a relationship. This lucky motherfucker here. Yeah, so I definitely agree with you on that one. So, Rashawn, who is your number 5?
Well, Tom Brady was my number 5, but I'm just going to, proceed on what Kelly said. I think that the tuck rule began his playoff career, basically. Because one of the mistakes of Tom Brady was that, he started his career 9-0 in the playoffs with 3 Super Bowl victories. And none of that would have happened had it not been for the tuck rule. Charles Woodson made an unbelievable hit on Tom Brady at the most crucial time. I believe it was like 1:45 left in the fourth quarter. They were losing 13-10. It was a clear fumble. Yes, Tom Brady's arm was going for it, but he also was pump faking. Meaning that he brought the ball back in. And that's what Charles Woodson hit him. And like Gerald said, the refs saw it differently. It basically created a controversy. And the rest is history. Now we see this rule implemented in today's football game. So that's the reason why I didn't even think about the fact that he was married to Giselle. Giselle is finest, one of the finest humans on the planet. You know what I mean? So that's all stuff that Kelly added on. I wasn't even thinking about that, but for that reason, the tough food. That's why I picked him as my number 5 with Lucky Motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I definitely see why all three of us had Tom Brady on our list. But with my number 5, I'm going to go basketball. I'm going to go with Mr. Dwayne Wade as my number 5 lucky motherfucker. So, Dwayne Wade gets drafted to Miami. Just let's start with that. All the places you can go in the NBA. You can go to cold Chicago, Milwaukee, Toronto. All the places in the world, he gets drafted to Miami. And he could have went to Detroit that year. Anywhere, but he gets to Miami. Gets to Miami. His rookie year plays really good. Gets to the playoffs. Next year, Shaq joins the team. You go from having a decent rookie year where your team makes the playoffs. I remember that playoff series where him and Baron Davis went back and forth because I'm a New Orleans basketball fan. At the time, it was New Orleans Hornets, back when we were in the Eastern Conference. A lot of things have changed since then. And you get Shaq the next year. Then you go on, not the first year, but the second year, you win a championship with Shaq. Legacy made by your third year in the league, right? Then you go through a couple of down years, and you convince your best friend, LeBron James, to join you in Miami. There goes 4 more final appearances, 2 more championships. And not to mention, throughout this time, he stole my wife. I fell in love with Gabrielle Union on Bring It On. And then my fantasy was ruined by Dwayne Wade, this lucky motherfucker here. You get 3 championships. Your legacy is made. And then this year, you make a bad decision. You say, I'm going to go and join LeBron and try to rekindle that magic. And it didn't work out. They could have traded you anywhere. They needed a second round pick to make some more trades. They could have traded you anywhere in the world. Where did they trade you? Back to Miami. And now you're in Miami making game-winning shots. Back being a big-time player in the city that you love. Gabby's happy. And there's just so much that makes Dwayne Wade a lucky motherfucker. And that's why he's number 5 for me. How you feel about that pick, Rashawn?
I like it, brother. I didn't even never think of Dwayne Wade as a lucky motherfucker. Well, him getting drafted to Miami, anybody going to Miami to start their career, or even get traded to Miami is a lucky motherfucker. I've been to Miami. That's a beautiful motherfucking place. But I like the way you broke it down, brother. I love the way you broke it down. And after hearing you, I would have to say, Dwayne Wade's a lucky motherfucker. On the 5. He got Gabrielle U. He's a double lucky motherfucker.
Definitely. How you feel about that pick, Kelly?
I think I need to get you some peanut butter to go with that jelly. Sounds like you got a little jealousy thing going with Dwayne Wade. But I mean, I wouldn't have personally thought of Dwayne Wade as a lucky motherfucker. I think Dwayne Wade is a pretty damn talented motherfucker. Maybe the whole Miami thing, the whole hot wife thing, sure, a little bit of lucky motherfucker going on there. But he got there on talent. So I wouldn't have put him on my list. But I can understand you with a little crush on the wife. I can see it.
Well, yeah, there's going to be some hate going on my list. So there's going to be a theme that that we will see here on my list. So you're definitely going to have a lot of peanut butter to go along with the jelly today. So who is your number 4, Kelly?
All right, for my next one, I'm going to go with Terry Bradshaw. And the reason why he is a lucky motherfucker is because he is a dumb-ass motherfucker. He is probably the dumbest person that has ever played the position of quarterback. But everyone thinks of him as a legend because he was put on probably the greatest team in the world. That Pittsburgh Steelers team that he was on was completely unbeatable, and it had absolutely nothing to do with him. But because he was on such a winning team, we have to listen to his dumb ass commentate every football Sunday, and I'm sick of it. The guy doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground. So that's why Terry Bradshaw is a lucky motherfucker, because he's a dumb motherfucker, and he only got where he was because of the talent around him.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good one. You went back on that one, and I definitely have to agree with you on that one. You think about the teams that Terry Bradshaw is on, and you look at Terry Bradshaw's stats, they're not really that good. He just happened to be a number 1 overall pick. So it comes out as him being this great guy because he was number 1 overall, won these Super Bowls. But then when you look back at the actual stats, his stats were bad for even the 70s. So the fact that he won all these Super Bowls and now is considered a legend, you have to put him in the lucky motherfucker category. So I definitely agree there. How you feel about that pick, Rashawn?
I like it. Again, I never even thought of Terry. Well, see, I didn't think of Terry Bradshaw being a lucky motherfucker because his defense is great. You know, but he's he won 4 championships. You know, so you got to be a lucky motherfucker to do that. So I agree with that.
Definitely. You're on the same page with that one. So who is your number 4 lucky motherfucker, Rashawn?
I think my number 4 pick is the luckiest motherfucker to play in the NBA. Imagine being drafted to the Houston Rockets, playing with arguably the greatest center of all time, surrounded by Vernon Maxwell, Kenny the Jet Smith, and others. And you win 2 championships in your first 2 years. I am talking about one Robert Horry. Now, a lot of people call him Big Shot Bob, and he has contributed to a few of those championships that he's won. But being drafted to the Houston Rockets, playing with Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon, still in his prime, and then after that, you win 2 championships there. Then after that, playing with the Los Angeles Lakers with arguably the greatest duo of all time, and Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant, winning 3 championships there. And then in the twilight of his career, he aligns himself with the greatest power forward of all time in Tim Duncan and win 2 more championships. That's a total of 7 championships, and he was not a key figure in any. Well, I'm not going to say he was the key. He wasn't a key figure. He was not. He was an expendable piece. Let's just say that he was an expendable piece. Nobody built around Robert Horry, but he did play some parts because he made some big shots. But he was just an average role player. You look at Robert Horry's stats, you be like, oh, okay, oh, that's average. You know, he was an average role player who got 7 championships by playing with Hakeem Olajuwon, Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, both in their prime, and then the greatest power forward of all time, Tim Duncan. If that ain't a lucky motherfucker, I don't know what is.
Yes, that's a really good pick right there. You think about Robert Horry, he did make some big shots. Of course, the first shot that comes to mind is the tip out against the Sacramento Kings, Game 4. That was the 2002 Western Conference Finals. And that shot, without that shot, they go down 3-1, and Sacramento probably wins that series. And then you have a whole different story about Sacramento. Chris Webber's looked at totally different. That shot made a big change in history right there. He also had some big shots, of course, in San Antonio and Houston. And you're right, that's just, to get to those situations at the right time is pure luck. So I have to agree with you there that Robert Horry is a lucky motherfucker. How you feel about that pick, Kelly?
I mean, when it comes down to the definition of lucky motherfucker, that is a great pick because he is such an irrelevant player. He didn't even hit on my radar. But yet, this guy's got more championship rings that can fit on one hand. That's the definition of lucky motherfucker. So, good pick, Rashawn. Very good.
Thank you very much.
All right, so for my number 4 pick, here comes some more jelly. I think this one's a little strawberry flavored, as I am jealous of this individual. And you guys will know this individual as well when I say his name. And you might not have a place in your heart for this individual, because I feel like he stole money from Philadelphia. His name is Nnamdi Asomugha. So, so my 2 guests today are both Philadelphia Eagles fans. And they will remember Nnamdi Asomugha as the cornerback who was made to be this great cornerback. And when he was in Oakland, he looked the part. He looked like this shutdown corner, somebody who's going to be up there with Darrelle Revis and Deion Sanders of the world. But he was pretty much a big fish in a small pond. Oakland at that time was just garbage for all those years. And he was the one guy who stood out on a garbage team. So he got big contracts. He got $12 million a year from Philadelphia. And turns out he wasn't that good. Right? When he went to Philadelphia, he just did not live up to expectations at all and was still getting paid. And he got a big guarantee contract too. Like NFL, usually you make out on the good side of those contracts because it's not guaranteed. But a lot of his was up front. So he got a big chunk of that money. And not to mention, if you know me at all, you know who my number one celebrity crush is. She's been my wife in my head for about 10 years now. And in my head, we have a great relationship. Everything goes well. She cooks, she cleans, gives nice massages on my back. And I'm talking about Kerry Washington. Now, for you guys who don't know who Kerry Washington is, she's the star of a show called Scandal. Her character, Olivia Pope, is now one of the, a historical character in TV in history, and she's had some great movies. I fell in love with her on Save the Last Dance. She played the sister of the brother who was messing with the white chick on the movie. And then it really came to a full-blown love on the movie I Think I Love My Wife, where she was co-star with Chris Rock. But that fantasy had to come to an end because of this lucky motherfucker, Nnamdi Asomugha. Not only did he rob the Philadelphia Eagles of their money, but he robbed Kerry Washington of the chance of meeting me. So that's why I'm jealous of this guy and consider him a lucky motherfucker. How you feel about that pick, Kelly?
I mean, I put Nnamdi Asomugha, recessed in my memory into this place where, I don't unlock that box, so now, I'm gonna have to take a whole lot of Xanax and Valium to put him back into his box, because that is a moment in Philadelphia history that I try to repress very seriously. I hate Nnamdi Asomugha with an absolute passion, because he was probably one of the biggest bust pickups in Philadelphia history. And I actually had no idea that he had a hot actress wife. So, that's even more reason to hate him, because he doesn't deserve it. Because, he's a lucky motherfucker, but he's also kind of an ugly motherfucker. There is nothing good looking about Nnamdi Asomugha. And okay, we can say fuck on this show because it's some motherfucker show. Okay, so when you're fucking Nnamdi Asomugha, how do you yell out his name? Is it, Nnamdi? That is so not sexy. No, you gotta have, some kind of pet name for him or something. Because no woman is gonna want to lay in bed and go, Nnamdi. Yeah, no, not happening.
Oh, yes, that is hilarious. Oh, man. I'm glad we have you on the show to think about it from that perspective. Yes, because that's hilarious. How you feel about that pick, Rashawn?
Listen, now Kel's got me. First of all, I like the pick. I like how you broke it down. But Kel's now going to have me thinking of women moaning Nnamdi Asomugha's name. That's not good, Kel. That's not good. But anyway, damn Scandal. If you want to know how sexy Kerry Washington is, just like Damien said, I Think I Love My Wife with her and Chris Rock. Oh my God, she is just so gorgeous. Damn him coming to Philly and being a bust in Philly. He is strictly a lucky motherfucker because he got her. She was fine and saved the last dance, and she had a Jerry girl. He is a lucky. And not only that, he has a widow's peak. What the hell? You know what I mean? But Kel thinks he's ugly, and hey, that's the definition of a lucky motherfucker. An ugly person being a gorgeous person like Kerry Washington. But I implore every male out there that's listening to this, watch I Think I Love My Wife for her and Chris Rock. She is drop dead gorgeous. You don't want to turn to your wife or your girlfriend and say, you know what, Chris Rock's a lucky motherfucker because he's acting with her. I'm telling you, you might get slapped, but it's worth it.
Yes, in that movie, she plays the mistress. She wants Chris Rock, and Chris Rock is married. He's gone through some problems, and he has to show his willpower to not mess with Kerry Washington. First of all, I think Chris Rock deserves an Oscar for that. The fact that he was able to act as if he could turn down Kerry Washington. You know how hard it is to even act like you're doing that? So I think Chris Rock's acting has been undervalued, okay? He's a great comedian, but I think he's an Oscar-winning actor for that role, okay? And like I said, man, Nnamdi, yeah, it just hurts me every time I think about it, man. But that's why he's on my lucky motherfucker list. So, who is number 3 for you, Kelly?
Well, first of all, I just want to say, every time we do these bonus shows, I, add a movie that I'm going to go find on Netflix, because it seems like we always end up with some movie that I've never seen before, and I say, maybe I should watch that one. So I'm adding that one to my Netflix queue and see if it's on there. But my number 3 pick is kind of related to my number 2 pick, and that is Thomas Hollywood Henderson. Let me tell you what a lucky motherfucker this guy is. Some of your listeners might not have even heard of him, kind of an older player. He was drafted by the Dallas Cowboys back during their Dirty Dozen draft back in the mid-'70s. So he was on a team when they won a Super Bowl. I think it was Super Bowl 12 or 13. I can't remember the exact number. He was also a Pro Bowl player, lucky motherfucker. The Super Bowl he won was against Terry Bradshaw. And these two guys threw so much trash at each other, they actually put him on a magazine cover with Terry Bradshaw. Because he is the first guy that ever said Terry Bradshaw can't spell cat even if you give him the C and the A. So Thomas Hollywood is the guy that invented that saying. But that's not why he's a lucky motherfucker. During that Super Bowl, even inside his uniform set, he had a bottle filled with alien solution and cocaine. Every time he played football, he was high on the cocaine train. He was so high on the cocaine train, he threw his football career away and went to jail. He actually went to jail for assault, battery, and then it all came out with all of this cocaine. This guy was high as a kite every time he was on a damn football field. For him to play football and do cocaine, I'd say that's pretty damn lucky. That's a lucky motherfucker right there. But that's not the end of the story. Because when he gets out of jail, alright, early 2000, this fucking motherfucker hit the lottery for $28 million.
Wow.
Lucky motherfucker. I know.
Wow. That's crazy. That's when you say lucky. Wow. That's crazy. That's a great story right there. How you feel about that pick, Rashawn?
That's definitely great. That is the definition of lucky motherfucker. And to think, I was going to pick OJ.
Oh man!
Anytime you need a double murder, you a lucky motherfucker.
That's true. That is true. So moving on to your number 3 pick, is it OJ or who is your number 3 pick?
My number 3 pick is LeBron James.
Oh
Let
wow!
me explain. This man is 6'8", about 245 pounds. He'll run as fast as a deer. His jump is high as anybody I've ever seen. Has the power of Shaquille, well, maybe not Shaquille O'Neal, but for somebody his height and weight, he has the power of Shaquille O'Neal. When LeBron James is on the floor, you know LeBron James is on the floor. Even if he ain't the tallest person on the floor, he's the biggest, mostly all the time. You know, I've never seen a man with that type of skill set built the way LeBron James is. He is a freak of nature. Not to mention, God granted him with the ability to be as smart as he is. You know, to have the vision that he has on a basketball court. To have the knowledge, you know, that he has on a basketball court. To have the ability to be a leader. Despite no matter who he gets on his team. That's luck. That's so much perfection put into one body. You can't say nothing but he's a lucky motherfucker. Now, he is definitely a smart motherfucker, and I think a lot of his decisions he's made is not based on luck. It's just based on good upbringing and him being just an unbelievable man. You know? But his physical attributes is based on, that's just all luck. God looked at this man and was like, I'm going to make him be the first athlete to have this, to have that, to have this, and be all put together into one. You know, and we've never seen anybody like him, and we may never see anybody like him again. You know, I remember when Andrew Wiggins was coming out, of Kent, a lot of people were saying, oh, he has the abilities of LeBron James. He's going to be the next LeBron James. No, he's not going to be the next LeBron James. First of all, he wasn't as big as he wasn't NBA ready like LeBron James was. LeBron James looked like a power forward when he first stepped on the court. And with his gift, you can't say nothing but pure luck. That man is the luckiest man. Now, he used every God-given ability he had and made good of it. He let the world see his beauty as a human being. And I'm talking about physically, too. He's a lucky man because God chose him. Damn it, he should have chose me. He could have said a couple more inches. Let me get the 6 foot, Jesus.
Oh, man.
LeBron James is my number 3.
Okay, so I'm conflicted about the pick. You make a good case, right? I would say LeBron is maybe a blessed motherfucker. Like, that's, I don't know if like lucky fits. I do get what you're saying though. It is part luck to just have the perfect body, to never really be injured. Like he's had like a back issue here or there, and a sprained ankle here or there, but never anything that's legitly kept him out for any time. So that is partly luck. But I can see what you're saying, but I would put him more like in the blessed category, I guess, and then luck, because he did have a rough upbringing, and he is the savior of a city called Cleveland. Like Joakim Noah once said, anybody ever said I'm going to go vacation in Cleveland? It's not going to happen. So that's so I would have to say more blessed than lucky, but I can see what you're saying. How you feel about that pick, Kelly?
Well, I mean, I moved to Cleveland when LeBron was still in high school, and he was all over the local news when I moved to Cleveland. So it was kind of like I got to watch LeBron grow up from a high school basketball player into an NBA basketball player. And I want to give like a shout out props to his mother, because single mom, rough upbringing for LeBron, but she believed in him. And there was a local car company out in Cleveland before he even graduated high school. Like, they funded him a Hummer car to give to his mother. So, that's pretty damn lucky. Your mother a Hummer before you even, sign a contract in the NBA. That's pretty fucking lucky right there. But, I don't know. I don't think LeBron is a lucky motherfucker. I think, like you said, Damian, he's a blessed motherfucker. But he is a lucky motherfucker in the fact that he, even with all of the hardships of his childhood, that his mother still, supported him and, got him into a school program with St. Vincent St. Mary's, where he could excel and show off his talent. So, blessed in the genetic category, lucky motherfucker that he had a mother that was able to provide that for him, even when times were really rough for them.
That's a very good explanation right there about the balance between.
I look at it. Some people look at blessed as being lucky. You know what I mean? He's definitely blessed. With his entire situation with his mom. Everything he's went through. I'm not taking anything away from the man that he is. I'm just saying, this is like 6 billion people on this planet. How many people have you seen with the body structure of LeBron James? You've seen somebody that look like me. I've seen somebody that look like Kel. Damian, I've seen your video. I've seen somebody with your body type. How many people have you seen look like LeBron James? And that, my friend, is luck.
That's true.
I'm highly offended right now, actually, that you said you've seen people with my body type. I'm fucking smoking, so fuck you.
I'm not saying that you're not smoking. But I'm not saying that nobody looks like specifically. Your face. I'm just saying your body structure. You know what I mean? You are smoking, Joe. Jesus Christ.
Just making sure you guys were going off on these supermodel and actress lives and shit. I was feeling a little insecure. Somebody has to say that Kelly Kells is smoking, okay?
How dare you smoking?
Yes.
Sorry, Damian.
No problem. Yes, it is we definitely know Kelly is smoking. That's one of the reasons that you guys bring the sexy back to sports each week. It's not only sexy in the voice, but it's sexy in the body appearance. We got you, Kelly.
Thank you.
Now, it's time for us to do our number 2 picks. Who is your number 2 luckiest motherfucker in sports, Kelly?
Okay, my number.
Oh, I'm sorry.
2
I skipped myself. I'm sorry. I skipped myself.
Right. Number 3, Daniel.
Yes, my number 3. So, this is how lucky this guy is. I almost skipped over him when talking about lucky motherfuckers. This dude, Joe Namath. Okay? Joe Namath, he's probably the most mediocre quarterback to be given the title of great ever. Like, I like to call Eli Manning the best average quarterback of all time because he's been mostly average and he had those 2 great playoff runs, so he's the best average quarterback of all time. But I might have to give that title to Joe Namath. Joe Namath made one guarantee for one game, got it right, and the rest of his shitty career is forgotten about. My man threw more interceptions than touchdowns. More interceptions than touchdowns, and he's in the Hall of Fame. This motherfucker. How? So, when you talk about quarterbacks, the number one job is to protect the ball and throw touchdowns. Not only did he not protect the ball, he didn't throw touchdowns. And he's still in the Hall of Fame because he made one guarantee. In the 70s, he was considered a good-looking guy. Now, I don't know if he would be considered good-looking now. The standards have changed. But he was considered a good-looking guy back then. So because of that, he hit all the women off of one guarantee, one good playoff run. But the rest of his career is forgotten about, even though he threw more interceptions than touchdowns. So that's why Joe Namath is my number 3 lucky motherfucker. How you feel about that pick, Rashawn?
Yeah, that was absolutely great. Not only is he lucky, he's one of the faces in the NFL, too. Like, now. Like, during the Super Bowl, like, the beginning parts of the, when they was under the credit, when Carrie Underwood, who was absolutely gorgeous, was singing the opening song, they showed Joe Namath. And basically, the one thing with a guarantee, that, that is so spot on. And I've never seen anybody drunk on TV as much as he still did live interviews. So he is definitely a lucky motherfucker. Good one, Daniel.
How you feel about that pick, Kelly?
Actually, there was several quarterbacks that I kind of batted around in my head before settling on Terry Bradshaw as my lucky motherfucker, and he was one of them. He was in my list, too, so highly agree with that pick. He is a lucky motherfucker.
All right, so I was getting ahead of myself, but now it is time to go to Kelly's number 2 lucky motherfucker. Who is that?
All right, I'm actually going with a coach as my number 2 lucky motherfucker, and that would be none other than John Chucky Gruden. This man took over a team that was not a team of his creation. It was somebody else's team. And then he won them a Super Bowl in Tampa Bay for the Buccaneers. And he became like this coaching legend. And then he retired from coaching young to go to the broadcast booth. And there was this whole mystique about Chucky Gruden, like, oh my God, he's one of the greatest coaches of all time. And oh my God, every time a team lost their head coach, it was like, oh, maybe we can get Gruden to come out of retirement. Maybe we can get Gruden. And nobody ever got Gruden until the Oakland Raiders threw more money at that lucky motherfucker than has ever been thrown at any other coach in history for a 10-year, $100 million coaching deal with. He's not even proven to be a good head coach. Yeah, he won a Super Bowl, but it wasn't his team. In 10 years, after he makes his $100 million, if the Oakland Raiders win one Super Bowl, I will take it back and say that he is a good coach. But right now, I'm saying he's a lucky motherfucker because he took that mystique and turned it into one giant motherfucking payday.
That is a great pick. John Gruden, people forget, after he won that Super Bowl, he went 500 for like 4 or 5 years with the Bucs, then retired. So we haven't even seen him be a good coach since like 2002. But because he was in the booth, and he wasn't even that good in the booth, okay? My man would just make sounds and say that this guy's a grinder, and that's it. And people would be like, oh my God, John Gruden is so good. And don't get me wrong, I know the man knows football. And I do like when he does the, the QB things, when he gets the young quarterbacks and he shows them the film and they go over things with him, that's cool. So you know he knows the offense and things like that. But he would just say the same things over and over again, and they would be like, oh my God. And don't let somebody run Spider 2 wide banana. Oh my God. When they run Spider 2 wide banana, he loses his fucking mind. And every time they run that ball, if they run that play, and they don't throw to the fullback, who is the wide banana in that play, he loses his mind because he's telling you that he's right on that play. We all know it now, Gruden. Spider 2 wide banana, you go to the fullback in the flat. We get it, Gruden. So I'm definitely with you on that pick right there, Kelly. How you feel about that pick, Rashawn?
I think that was a great pick, although I think that John Gruden is a great offensive mind. And, I used to talk a lot with him when I used to work with the Eagles when I was a kid. You know, he was like the offensive coordinator back in the day. So I think he's a great offensive mind, but he has not proven to be a great head coach. I agree wholeheartedly with Kels when she said that it wasn't his team. That was Tony Dungy's team. That was Tony Dungy's team that won that Super Bowl. You know, he just got, outed before, that. And I think those guys, a lot of those guys say that. And, Warren Sapp, a lot of those guys say that. But he had contentious relationships with his players. So I agree with that one, Charles. I didn't think of that. It's him as being a lucky motherfucker. But the way he parlayed that into a Monday Night Football gig and then being the highest paid head coach in NFL history when he only won one Super Bowl, I mean, I know Bill Belichick mad as hell. He probably saying he's a lucky motherfucker.
Yes, lucky motherfucker. And not to mention, when he went to Super Bowl with Tampa Bay, this lucky motherfucker got to go against his old team where he knew all their plays. What's luckier than that? You go to the Super Bowl.
I forgot about that part, yeah.
When you go to the Super Bowl with a team that you didn't build, you get to go against your old team with a coach in Bill Callahan who literally just did what you did. He didn't change anything. That's the reason that Rich Gannon threw like 5 picks in the game, because they knew all the plays. This lucky motherfucker here. So yes, that's a great pick, Kelly. Who is your number 2 lucky motherfucker, Rashawn?
Well, man, I don't think you want to like this, you or Courtney. Because this guy has the nickname, The Real Deal. And I'm talking about the real deal of Vander Holyfield. And a lot of boxing fans may say, Rashawn, what the hell are you talking about? How is he a lucky motherfucker because he was such a great boxer? Yes, he was. But I think the stars aligned to him that eventually had the career that he had. Because if Mike Tyson didn't lose both his trainers, but the most important one was with Casterano, and then he lost Rooney, and then he basically lost his mind after that. We all know he lost to Buck Douglas in Japan, where he wasn't really prepared. He didn't put in all his work because he had so much going on around him because he didn't have the structure or the foundation around him. Meanwhile, Evander Holyfield is ascending as a heavyweight boxer, and they were going to fight before Mike Tyson lost after Mike Tyson beat Buster Douglas, they had a fight scheduled. Obviously, Tyson lost. His world went downhill after that. He goes to jail on a rape charge. A lot of people don't believe he necessarily raped that young lady, but he went to jail for 3 years. In that time, Evander Holyfield became one of the greatest heavyweights, in history. And by the time Mike Tyson came out, Mike Tyson was a shell of himself. I think the Mike Tyson before jail, before Buster Douglas, would have annihilated Evander Holyfield. He was quicker. His instincts was better. I mean, at that time, he had great instincts. He never was the greatest defensive fighter, but he moved so much. It was hard to hit him. Now, I'm not taking anything away from how great Evander Holyfield was or is. But I think the fact that Mike Tyson and his life and his career spiraled downhill allowed Evander Holyfield to ascend to what we now call him as one of the greatest of all time. Because I think that if Mike Tyson had not went to jail, and I think he would have beat Evander Holyfield, and I don't think Evander Holyfield would have had the career that he eventually had. So I consider Evander Holyfield one lucky motherfucker. One lucky motherfucker.
Okay, so you make a good case. All right. Now, of course, I have to side with somebody who has a nickname, The Real Deal. Now, Evander Holyfield, you're right. He was set to fight the winner of Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson, which, of course, everybody thought was going to be Mike Tyson. Now, Mike Tyson didn't prepare himself, and Buster Douglas took advantage of that moment. I guess the lucky part you could say is when Evander Holyfield, fought Buster Douglas, and Buster Douglas came in overweight because he was celebrating his championship. He pretty much got an easy win in that one to get his first heavyweight championship. I can see that part. But I would consider Evander Holyfield very unlucky because he fought Mike Tyson when Mike Tyson was losing his mind and got a piece of his ear bit off. If that's not the unluckiest shit in the world, so,
but that was a part of it. That was when Mike Tyson had already lost his mind. He lost everything, man. Not to mention when Mike Tyson fought Buster Douglas, it was literally days before after his mom passed away. You know, so he fought a motivated fighter who just didn't give a fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that all that stuff aligned for Evander Holyfield.
And
I'm sorry, I think he lucky.
There's a part of it that is true. The stars did align for Evander Holyfield, especially once he got to the heavyweight division. Like, he was a monster at cruiserweight, probably the greatest cruiserweight of all time, destroying everybody, beast. And once he got the heavyweight, some stars aligned. He got some decent decisions too, like the draw against Lennox Lewis. That was lucky. Like, he shouldn't have got a draw. Lennox Lewis destroyed him. That shouldn't have been a draw. But getting a piece of your ear bit off, man, that's the unluckiest shit in the world. Like, that part of it, I feel like for any luck he did have prior to that, it got balanced out with him getting his piece of his ear bit off. So the fact that he went through that, and people forget, man, Mike Tyson bit him twice. Like, that's the thing that people forget. He bit this man's ear twice. Like, the fact that
Mike Tyson fought him a long time ago, that would have never happened.
Like, so the fact that the referee didn't stop it the first time is unlucky. And the fact that Mike Tyson was so crazy that he would bite you again, that's very unlucky, man. So, like I said, I get where you're coming from, but I gotta disagree on this one. I can't go with Evander Holyfield being lucky just on the fact of him getting a piece of his ear bit off, which is still gone today. We're talking 20 years later. My man still doesn't have that piece of his ear. They can't put that back on. It's gone. Like, that's some unlucky shit right there.
They should have put it back on. They just refused them.
How you feel about that pick, Kelly?
Actually, as soon as Rashawn said that, I'm thinking to myself, the man got part of his ear bit off. How can you call somebody with half a fucking ear a lucky motherfucker? And I mean, that being said, I don't really consider any boxer a lucky motherfucker when you're God-given talent on this earth involves getting hit repeatedly in your head. That is a very unlucky vocation right there. We watch it because it's entertaining as hell and we love the sport. But I mean, it's a pretty unlucky thing to be good at if you think about it. I mean, come on, when was the last time you saw an older boxer that could speak intelligently? All these guys are CTE waiting to be diagnosed, and that's a pretty unlucky thing to be. So I can't go with any boxer as a lucky motherfucker.
That's a very good point.
Y'all missing the point. Y'all missing the point. Hey, listen, you know what? Let me admit something, damn it. I forgot he got to get his bit off. I forgot all about that, okay?
Hey, like I said, I see where you're going. The stars did align for him to win the heavyweight championship and have the career he has and be rated as one of the greatest. But like we said, man, there's some, like Kelly made a very good point. For a boxer, it's very hard to say they're lucky. You know, maybe you could put Floyd Mayweather there because he's turned, you know, his career into so much money. But it still is a dangerous way to do it. So I definitely agree with Kelly on that part of it. All right, so for my number 2, I'm going back to basketball. Now, this guy, extremely talented, right? And I'm not saying he didn't work hard for this. But there was a lot of luck along the way. I'm talking about the Academy Award winner, Kobe Bean Bryant. Now, let me explain why Kobe Bryant is a lucky motherfucker. So, Kobe gets drafted by the Charlotte Hornets and then gets traded to Los Angeles. Now, he could have been in Charlotte. And if Kobe spends 20 years in Charlotte and wins no championships, how much different do we look at Kobe? Is Kobe looked at the same way we look at T-Mac, Vince Carter, all the shooting guards that were around that time? And not only does he get to go to Los Angeles, Shaq, prime Shaq, the most dominant player we've seen probably ever, because we weren't alive for Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell. Shaq. So beginning of his career, he gets to, come in slowly at first because they had Eddie Jones and Nick Van Exel at that time. So they didn't need him to be somebody like Allen Iverson was in that same draft in Philadelphia. So he's part of one of the greatest drafts of all time. He gets to go 13th overall. Low expectations, not really high like Allen Iverson's was. Goes to the Lakers. They get Shaq that same summer. It takes a few years to get over the hump, but then they start winning championships. They win 3 championships in a row. A lot of luck there. Let's not mention Game 6 of the 2002 Western Conference Finals, where the referees basically gave them the game, and they shouldn't have had that 3rd championship in a row. Yeah, I'm still mad about it. And so they get that 3rd championship in a row, and then he gets caught up in Colorado, right? And you could say this is unlucky, but let me spin it to you this way. So he gets caught up in the whole Colorado scandal, right? And I'm not saying he was, innocent or guilty. I don't know that. But we know that he cheated on his wife. Wife stays with him. So he avoids the whole rich guy going through the divorce, prenup or no prenup, losing half his money. Avoids that part of it. Snitches on Shaq and doesn't get beat up. Shaq leaves. He becomes the guy in Los Angeles. They go through some down years. But then the Lakers pull off one of the biggest heists in NBA trade history. They traded Kwame Brown, right? And let me channel my Stephen A. Smith when I say that. Kwame Brown and some other assets. And they get Paul Gasol. Paul Gasol, probably a top 10 power forward all time when you truly think about it, helps Kobe Bryant get 2 more championships. And we forget he had young Andrew Bynum on his team. Andrew Bynum averaging 18 and 10 rebounds at the time. But people like to put pictures up of that team. You might have seen the meme when they say, oh, LeBron needs all these stars. Look what Kobe did with only one other All-Star on his team, acting like Lamar Odom wasn't 6th man of the year, or Derek Fisher wasn't a great role player, or Andrew Bynum wasn't down there dominating along with Paul Gasol. Come on, man. And then he sucks for the last 3 years of his career and still gets voted to All-Star games, still beloved in LA, acting like he wasn't shooting 30% for the last 3 years of his career, ruining your team. They're still bad because of it. Now, they've been going through a little streak lately, but they're not going to make the playoffs. They're still rebuilding because Kobe, in the last 2 years of his career, even though he was already done, got a contract for 2 years, $48 million, and was already done. Wasn't good anymore, and just got a contract off of base what he did in the past. This lucky motherfucker. And then he does the little animated shorts, which are okay. The one he won an Oscar for, I believe if he's not Kobe Bryant, I don't think he wins an Oscar for that. It was decent. But I'm pretty sure there's guys out there who truly do this for a living who got passed on an Oscar for Kobe. Like I said, I'm going to give him credit. I'm not going to take too much credit away from it. It was decent. But probably somebody else who deserves that Oscar besides Kobe. So that's why Kobe is my number 2 lucky motherfucker. How you feel about that pick, Kelly?
I I love Kobe Bryant, and in my mind, he does absolutely no wrong. Not to mention the fact that he's a Philadelphia Eagles fan. So he is not a lucky motherfucker. He is a smart motherfucker because he is the Black Mamba. We talk about the Mamba mentality, and the Mamba mentality is one of the ways I rate players in every sport, whether or not they have that drive to be the best that they can be, and to have that level of charisma and just that killer assassin look in their eyes when they're playing their sport. And because of that, I think Kobe Bryant is one of the best players ever because of the Mamba mentality. Yeah, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, better basketball players than Kobe Bryant, but he has got that mentality where if you look at him physically, he is not as physically gifted as a lot of these other players we think of as basketball superstars, but it was that charisma and that ability to just have the Mamba mentality. That's the only word there is for it. That sharp drive to win, and I love him for that. He's like the Terrell Owens of basketball to me, and I love Kobe Bryant. So I don't say anything bad about him. He's not a lucky motherfucker. He is an amazing motherfucker.
You make valid points, Kelly. Okay? I can't deny that. But the Mamba mentality also involves snitching. So I cannot have my son out here having the Mamba mentality, okay? When and if I have a son, he's not going to have the Mamba mentality. I'm going to try to get him to have the King James mentality or something like that. Not the Mamba mentality, okay? I think Kyrie Irving has...
Sometimes you got to snitch, okay? Sometimes you got to snitch. I'm not saying it's right, but every once in a while, you got to snitch.
That's true. Sometimes you got to snitch. Like if you're in a situation where you didn't do anything and you could go to jail because somebody else did something, that's right. You got to snitch sometimes. I don't really consider that snitching because you gotta take care of yourself first. You shouldn't be in jail with somebody else. I agree with that. Sometimes you gotta snitch. But Kobe wasn't going to jail. If him telling on Shaq had nothing to do with his situation.
Revenge snitch. It was revenge snitching. Revenge snitching is okay.
I can't agree with that. I cannot agree with that one on Kelly. All right, Rashawn, how you feel about that pick?
Well, listen, I think that he's lucky for reasons that you didn't name, or for her reason that you didn't name. The fact that he modeled his game after Michael Jordan. He's lucky because he had somebody to emulate. You know what I mean? Not to mention he became good friends with him. Jordan taught him a lot. Jordan told him a lot about the game. So I think he's lucky in that aspect. Now, as far as his Oscar winning, short film, I think that was I think it was absolutely brilliant. You know, when I was watching it the night they were hiding, I thought it was absolutely brilliant. But I do agree with you, Daniel. He won because he's an NBA player. You know what I mean? And like Laura Ingram said, not too many people don't expect him to do anything but shut up and dribble. So the fact that he came up with this idea, and people look at him now in a different light. He's not just a basketball player. He's an Oscar Award winner, by telling his story. And as far as him snitching, Kobe is way smart to know exactly what he was doing at that moment. You know what I mean? He gets no point for snitching. I don't care that he was young or not. You know what I mean? Somebody gonna say to me one time, well, Kobe, he came to Philadelphia and was seeing people grew up in France, this and that. There ain't nobody wanna hear that, no. He's been in Philadelphia long enough to know that snitching on your homies is bad. So I agree with you on that.
So yeah, man, I'm definitely, me and Kelly don't disagree that often, but we disagree on this one. I think he's a lucky motherfucker. Like, he's great. He's great. Don't get me wrong. He's great. I got him in my top 10 all time. Second grade shooting guard to ever do it. But lucky. And like Rashad made a very good point. If Michael Jordan doesn't exist, does Kobe? Because Kobe literally modeled his game after this guy. And when he was younger, would even talk like him. So if Michael Jordan doesn't exist, does Kobe? Now, LeBron is different. LeBron, if Michael Jordan doesn't exist, we still have LeBron because he's so different. But does Kobe exist without Michael? That's luck, man. You got to have somebody before you to make that happen. So I think that is luck. But let's move on to Kelly's number one. Luckiest motherfucker in sports.
Actually, that was a brilliant segue into my number one. My number one would be absolutely nothing without Michael Jordan, and that is Scottie Pippen. And that is because I think that history would have remembered Scottie Pippen. I don't think history would have remembered Scottie Pippen had he not played with Jordan and had he not been riding on the coattails of the greatest of all time. Not to mention the fact that he also got to play with Dennis Rodman, like the absolute rebound king of all time. If it wasn't for those two players, Scottie Pippen would be a forgotten piece of NBA history. I don't think there is anything special about Scottie Pippen. Watching him play is completely uninspired. He's great because of the greatness around him, not because of his talent. So that is why Scottie Pippen is a lucky motherfucker that we even know his name right now.
God damn. Good Lord. Tell us how you really feel, Kelly. Good.
I hate Scottie Pippen.
Oh, man. I hope Scotty's not listening to this one. Good Lord. That was some ether right there. I have to disagree with you. I think Scotty was a great player. And you got to remember, Jordan didn't win without Scotty. So, Scotty had to do something with that. He had something to do with that. So I have to disagree with you on that one. And if you remember the year where Jordan retired, Scotty went off and averaged like 24 points a game, got the Chicago Bulls to the semifinals of the Eastern Conference before he lost in 7 games to the Knicks. So he had skills. Of course, playing with Jordan and Rodman and Paxson and Kerr and all those guys helped. But my man had skills, though. So I got to give some credit to him on that. All right, but I think we just had a little technical difficulty. Let me get Rashawn back on the line. We'll be right back. All right, so we're back. We had a little technical difficulty, but we're right back now. And I was, before, a little break, I was disagreeing with Kelly. I think that Scottie Pippen does have a lot of skills. And without Jordan, without Pippen, maybe Jordan doesn't have those 6 championships. And Jordan isn't thought of as the greatest of all time. So I do have to disagree with you on this one, Kelly. I don't think Scottie Pippen, somewhat lucky that got to play with Jordan. Of course, that's a big luck factor right there. And you mentioned Rodman and all those guys. But he definitely has skills. I think he is a top 50 player all the time. How you feel about that pick, Rashawn?
Man, I was just about to say that I loved hearing Damian and Kelly argue because Kelly argues with me. You know what I mean? I love to hear her argue with somebody else. But damn it, it's my turn again. Kelly, how dare you? How dare you? Scottie Pippen was not only a great player, he was named top 50 greatest player of all time. This guy, not to mention that he almost won a championship without Michael Jordan. And
yeah, where did he learn those skills? He learned those skills by playing with Jordan. If he had played on any other team, he wouldn't have led a single team to a championship. It's not like Russell Westbrook, where your top player goes away and you average your triple-double. I mean, his numbers weren't that good. No, he learned the skills from Jordan, rode on the coattails of that team that used to have Michael Jordan, that was trying to live up to his legacy. It wasn't because of his skills as a player.
Man, when you think of LeBron James, he's comparable to Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen was running point and he was like 6'9". Only Magic Johnson was 6'9", too. You know what I mean? But Magic Johnson was a true point guard. Scottie Pippen was just something extra that he did because he was an all-around player. I don't think, of course, playing with Jordan made him a great player. But Scottie Pippen was great in his own right. Like Damian said, Jordan did not win a championship without Scottie Pippen. Now, I'm not saying that Jordan is not the greatest of all time because he played with Scottie Pippen. No. But I think the fact that he did play with Scottie Pippen enhanced him as for being the greatest player of all time. I think he helped Scottie Pippen, and Scottie Pippen helped him. Scottie Pippen was a better defender than Jordan. He was a better defender than Jordan. He was a better rebounder than Jordan, and he was a better passer than Jordan. I think Jordan is the greatest player of all time. But when I look at LeBron James, I see more Scottie Pippen than I see anybody else. Scottie Pippen and Magic Johnson. You know what I mean? But more so Scottie Pippen because Scottie Pippen did everything. And he can play so many different positions on defense. I'm sorry, Kev, I love you so much. But damn it, Scottie is not a bum. He is not, he's definitely win the championship. They had a 15-point lead in the 2001 Western Conference Finals against the Lakers in LA. That team melted. You know what I mean? Because that was a championship right there. Game 7. That team melted. They lost. But he was there. He was there. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Kevin. I love you, but I got to disagree with you on that one.
Okay.
I have to say, I think Sky Smith is the greatest dick rider of
Dang. Wow. One thing I was going to add, I forgot about that, Rashawn just mentioned, which adds to my argument about Kobe being a lucky motherfucker. Game 7, the Portland Trailblazers are up by 15 in LA and blow that lead, which leads to Kobe's first championship. This lucky motherfucker here. So.
No, it's skill. It's skill. It's not like it's skill. It's Kobe. It's a mama mentality. You don't give up. It's the same reason that Kyrie made Steph Curry blow a 3-1 lead to win the championship for Cleveland. Because Kyrie's got the mama mentality too.
And Kyrie also thinks the world is flat. That's the mama mentality, all right?
There's nothing wrong with the flat earth, okay?
That's the mama mentality, all right? All right, so let's go on to Rashawn's number 1 lucky motherfucker.
Well, this person has a connection to both of the two previous players that people picked, and that's Phil Jackson. Now, I'm not taking anything away from him being a coach, but you have to be the luckiest motherfucker to be the assistant coach, coaching the greatest player of all time. Now, nobody knew he would eventually be the greatest player of all time, but at that time, Jordan was the greatest talent the NBA has ever seen. He was an assistant coach. Somehow, someway, Doug Collins got fired. They got his ass out of there. He ascended to the head coach's job, and then they draft the great Scottie Pippen, the person that tells is a lucky motherfucker. I think Phil Jackson is lucky because he had Jordan and he drafted Scottie Pippen, 2 of the top 50 greatest players of all time. Then after winning 6 championships in Chicago, he conveniently aligned himself with Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant. 5 more championships. Now, granted, Shaquille was only there for 3, but he still had Kobe. Those are 2 other players that was just added into the top 50 greatest players of all time. If that ain't luck, I don't know what else is. He is the all-time luckiest motherfucker because regardless of what you think about Kobe, you got people that argue that Kobe is better than LeBron. You know what I mean? Because he was so much like Jordan. You know, us people that love Jordan love that mentality. And LeBron James, for as great as he is, he has that passive-aggressive nature about him on the basketball court. You know? When Kobe shot the last fucking shot, you knew that shit was going there. When Jordan shot the last fucking shot, you knew that shit was going there. LeBron, not so much. You know what I mean? But people, that's how great Kobe is, I think. Kobe is, regardless if he emulated Jordan or not, he still had the benefit, Phil Jackson, of coaching Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal. You know? So I consider Phil Jackson the number 1 luckiest motherfucker of all time.
Yeah, I'm right there with you on this pick. And to add one more thing to it, we've had kind of a theme in this episode of these lucky motherfuckers having these hot wives. He didn't marry her, but he did have Jeannie Buss on his arm for like a long time. And that adds to the luck factor. And also, now that he's left New York, people are starting to think that he wasn't that bad because Carmelo's past his prime in OKC and looking like an old guy that couldn't carry a franchise. So now people are saying, oh, maybe Phil Jackson wasn't that bad. Phil Jackson was bad in New York, but now his legacy is changing because Melo doesn't look that good in OKC now because he's the third wheel, behind 2 players in their prime in Russ and Paul George. So now people are looking at Phil Jackson a bit differently. And he's getting that legend, that legend back in his name because Carmelo is now no longer his old self. So Phil Jackson definitely is up there with lucky motherfuckers. How you feel about that pick, Kelly?
I mean, I think Phil Jackson's a lucky motherfucker that he didn't get his ass beat after what he did in New York when he was with the Knicks. So, I mean, I think that's lucky motherfucker because those fans are brutal and he let them down.
Definitely.
Not to mention, he was high all the time on the bench. That's some lucky shit right there. It wasn't even legal, and Phil would just come out. You know what I mean? No wonder he never stood up, walked down. Like, you know what I mean? He was too damn hot. You know what I mean? He was too hot. You know? And Jeannie, but I forgot to mention that. Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. She's a milf.
And the funny thing, the hilarious thing about Phil, like, not calling timeout, people would always give him credit for that. They were like, oh, he knows how to let his team, go through it and get their way back into the game. Nah, he was too high. He was chilling. He was like, oh, y'all got it.
He was confused.
So it wasn't like this big strategy thing. He just was too high to get up and call a timeout. So, yes, I'm definitely with you right there on Phil Jackson being a lucky motherfucker. And I actually was going to go with Phil Jackson, but since you took Phil Jackson, I'm going to go with one of my backups, Kwame Brown. I mentioned him earlier, right? So Kwame Brown, and it's funny how all these guys are connected. Kwame Brown was drafted by Michael Jordan when Michael Jordan was the GM/owner for the Washington Wizards. And Kwame Brown may be the most garbage basketball player ever. But he was the number 1 overall pick because he looked good in high school, because he was 7 inches taller and 50 pounds heavier than everybody else he was playing against. And fooled us into believing he was going to be a good pro. And not only does he fool us to get drafted, he has a 13-year NBA career. Not 2, not 3, like most garbage dudes. He stays in the league 13 years because people believe they can make something out of his potential. And I'm doing air quotes like you can see me, but he's making out of his quote-unquote potential because he's 7 feet tall and they believe he had good hands and good feet, which he never had. If we never saw it in 13 years in the NBA, it means it wasn't there. Nobody could bring it out. He was even had spent some time coached by the great Phil Jackson, and we didn't see it then. The man was garbage and made over, $70 million being trash? What's luckier than that? Even now, even today, playing in the Big 3, he gets yelled at by Gary Payton because he's still trash. Kwame Brown. Luckiest motherfucker in the world right there. How you feel about that pick, Kelly?
It's so hilarious because the way you're describing him, I'm not too familiar with him, but I used to have an employee that worked for me way back when I used to run cell phone stores back in ancient Kelly Kells history. But I had this 7 foot tall black guy that worked for me. I swear he was 7 foot tall, and he came from this little rural liberal community, and I think they were probably the only black family in the whole community. So he said he walked into high school his first day, and the basketball coach just started drooling. And this poor kid had 0 hand-eye coordination, and they kept trying to make him play basketball, and he was so bad at it. The kid was the most clumsy guy I have ever seen in my life, and that's what he was like. I mean, thinking back on it, you know what? He was just like my old employee, this 7 foot tall guy that, was blessed with this physique where he should be amazing at basketball and then just sucks, but nobody wants to give up on him because he's a 7 foot tall black guy.
Definitely. That's Kwame Brown for you. How you feel about that pick, Rashawn?
Listen, Kwame Brown was lucky because he was picked by Jordan, and the fact that he had a 13-year career is because he was picked by Jordan. Everybody kept waiting for this guy's potential to show because Jordan seen potential in it. That is the only reason why Kwame Brown had a 13-year career, because he was absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. And he reminded me of DGB. Now, Kel, remember DGB that played with us, Dorian Green Beckham? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he had the great ability. The greatest ability. And he was so fucking athletic. Exactly. Size, height, speed. But Kwame Brown. You know, and the fact that he had, I can't believe that he had a 13-year career. It was all strictly based on Jordan picking him number one and people wanting to see the greatness through Jordan's eyes because everybody thinks Jordan is so great. You know what I mean? I think people just didn't want to have be able to. I just think people just didn't want to criticize Jordan for just didn't have, just not having, any kind of, ability to pick players or to, pick players or tough talent. So I think that was strictly because, Jordan picked him. So I like that big thing.
Yes, so
hey,
that...
Damon?
Yes.
Can I throw out an honorable mention?
Definitely, go ahead.
Okay, I want to give an honorable mention to somebody near and dear to my heart, and that would be former long snapper for the Philadelphia Eagles, John Daramos. And the reason he is a lucky motherfucker, not only did he get to play a long career in the city of Philadelphia, he's the only long snapper who nationwide everyone knows his name because he was on the America's Got Talent TV show. But because of a trade to your New Orleans Saints, his life was saved, and they got him the heart surgery that he needed to save his life in time before he dropped dead. So I want to say that is one lucky motherfucker, and I'm sad that he retired, but he was a lucky motherfucker, and I just want to shout out, love you, John Darabo.
Yes,
that's a Super Bowl ring. That was great, Cal.
Yes, definitely. A lucky motherfucker right there. It's a very good pick. And Kelly, let's start with you. Let's recap your picks and tell the people why your list is the best list of lucky motherfuckers.
Well, I went with Tom Brady, Terry Bradshaw, Thomas Hollywood Anderson, John Gruden, Scottie Pippen, and an honorable mention, John Darabos. And my list is the best pick because they are lucky motherfuckers. Tom Brady, my number one pick, was so lucky all three of you guys also wanted to pick him, but you know what? You should vote for me because I got to go first, so I got to name the most popular guy on the list first. So that's why you should vote for me. Plus, I've got the only lottery winner on the list with Hollywood Henderson. Plus, you all know I'm right about Scottie Pippen. You all know I'm right about John Gruden and his monster contract. So I've got the luckiest motherfuckers and I've got the richest motherfuckers. So vote for me.
That's a very good explanation. I'm going to go to the grave disagreeing with you about Scottie Pippen, though. But the John Gruden pick was was awesome. That was an awesome pick. Like I wish I would have thought of that one. Once you named him, and so many reasons came to my head about why this motherfucker's so lucky. So that was a great pick with John Gruden. So Rashawn, go ahead and recap your list for the people and tell them why your list is the best list of lucky motherfuckers.
Well, my list is the best of lucky motherfuckers because everybody on my list is extremely lucky in my eyes. So therefore, vote for me. That's like no. But my first one was Tom Brady. I think because of the tough rule that basically started his career, I still think he's the greatest quarterback of all time. I think he would eventually win a Super Bowl regardless. But I think that play, enhanced his mystique. Next I had LeBron James. You guys disagree with me, but like I said, it's 6 billion people plus on this planet, and you cannot name another person that has the physique of LeBron James. That's luck. Robert Ford, 7 championships, and he wasn't a star on any of them. You know what I mean? Now, he didn't start playing, but he was just a backup role player. 7 championships. He has more championships than Michael Jordan. Yes, people. Robert Horry has more championships than Michael Jordan. He played with Hakeem Olajuwon. He played with Shaq, Kobe, Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili. I don't know if Tony Parker was there yet, but he played with some great players in that round. And as a result, he got 7 championships. That's one lucky motherfucker. Evander Holyfield. Damien don't agree with me on this one, but he avoided an ass whipping by the most ruthless talent the heavyweight division has ever seen. So not only was Evander Holyfield lucky, everybody that Mike Tyson didn't fight after losing, everybody that he didn't fight was considered lucky at that time. Because if he didn't lose his trainer Customato, if he didn't lose Customato, understudy, and I forget his name, Rooney, I forget his first name, he would have been, I think, the greatest heavyweight champion of all time. He lost his structure, everything crashed around Mike Tyson. Evander Holyfield capitalized on that, and I think he's a lucky motherfucker. And then the last one is Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson, how many championships? 11. He had Kobe, Jordan, Pippen, Shaq. That's a lucky motherfucker. So my list is full of lucky motherfuckers. Seriously lucky motherfuckers. So please vote for this motherfucker.
I like your list. I got to disagree with Evander Holyfield on that one. I feel the same way about Evander as I do Scottie Pippen. I got to disagree with those two, but solid list. Now, for my list, Dwayne Wade, Gabrielle Union. All I got to say about that one. Nnamdi Asomugha. Now, Dwayne Wade, Miami, and Gabrielle Union. Just put that in there. Lucky motherfucker. Nnamdi Asomugha. Cornerback who looked like he was great because he was playing on a bad team, got paid for being average, and also got Kerry Washington. And for people who don't know, I love Kerry Washington. Like, my girlfriend knows it. That's how bad it is. Like, my girlfriend just accepts the fact that I love Kerry Washington. That's how bad it is with me and Kerry Washington. Like, if I met Kerry Washington, that's the only person I legit might, like, faint and fall down and not remember what happened. Because that's how much I love Kerry Washington. And this lucky motherfucker got Kerry Washington and NFL money when he wasn't really that good. 3, Joe Namath. More interceptions than touchdowns. And he's in the the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Lucky motherfucker. Number 2, Kobe, lucky motherfucker Bryant. Could have been in Charlotte for his career. Goes to LA. Gets all these championships. LA making crazy trades to get rid of Kwame Brown and people like that to get Paul Gasol. He gets to play with Shaq. Gets Phil Jackson as a coach. He has all these crazy games that lead to him winning championships, like being down 15 in Game 7 against Portland in 2000. Having that Game 6 against the Sacramento Kings in 2002 where the referees called 24 fouls in the fourth quarter. You don't get 24 fouls in a game. They called 24 fouls in the fourth quarter for the Lakers to make them win that game. Lucky motherfucker. And number 1, Kwame Brown. 7 foot tall, chiseled, right? So perfect body for athletics, but just didn't have it. And because Michael Jordan picked him, like Rashawn said, he had a 13-year career out of that. He went through some bad things with Jordan. Jordan kind of terrorized him as far as mentally when he first got in the league. But he was able to get through that and still be his mediocre self for 13 years in the NBA. And now is being mediocre in the Big 3, still making money to play basketball. And he's never been good at it. Never. Not once. Lucky motherfucker. So that's my list. And that's why you should vote for my lucky motherfucker list. Kelly, tell people where they can find you, follow you, and find the show as well.
Well, of course, you can follow the show on blogtalkradio.com/momentum shift. You can also listen to us on demand anytime your heart desires at goingfor2.com/momentum shift. That's going, FOR2.com. And you can follow us on Twitter at The Red Zone Alliance. You can follow us on Facebook at The Red Zone Alliance. You can find me on Twitter, not so active there. And you can find me on Facebook, a lot more active there. I got a couple more slots left in my friends list. I narrowed it down a little, so I got some empty ones. You can spell my name. I'll spell my name out. Weird. It's KELLIERUTAR. Follow me because I'm a lucky motherfucker. I'm a funny motherfucker. I can't even say motherfucker anymore. I've been saying motherfucker so many times I can't motherfucker anymore. But you should follow me because I'm a lucky motherfucker. I'm a funny motherfucker, and I am a sexy motherfucker. So get on over and join the fun.
Definitely. And if you're going to, do not do it. All right. Do not send Kelly anything in her messages on Facebook because she will send you a motherfucking picture of water. Okay? Do not do it. Okay.
Not to mention, there's people also get very mean messages from my extremely sexy boyfriend who told me during the show that he's the luckiest motherfucker alive because he gets me.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. Always a sweet moment in there with Kelly. That's the thing, Kelly. That's the thing with Kelly. Like Kelly could be the meanest motherfucker, and then the next line she's making you cry, and she's making you saying "oh," because she brings that moment to you. Because the Scottie Pippen stuff, man, that was just some of the meanest stuff I've ever heard. Rashawn, where can people find you and follow you, man?
Man, if you think Scottie Pippen was mean, ask her about Steph Curry's daughter.
Oh.
But you can follow me at Daisy Black 1977 on Twitter. Listen, I'm over 1,000 followers. I can use more. I'm trying to get that little check next to my name, without being a celebrity. It's going to take a long time, but I'm going to do it. I'm confident in it. But yeah, I'm a lucky motherfucker because I get to work with the sexy, funny, and crazy Kelly Kell. I know she has her boyfriend Ryan, and I love her. He is a lucky motherfucker. But Friday nights and Monday nights, I'm the luckiest motherfucker because I get the co-host with my girl Kelly Kell. So there you go. We some lucky motherfuckers.
And you know what? Ryan's fully aware that you're the other man in my life, Rashawn, so we're all good there.
Yes, I am a lucky motherfucker as well that you guys take time out of your busy weeks to come and do bonus episodes of me like this one. This one was a great episode, man. Make sure to vote at The Real Deal with Damian Adams Facebook page, the Twitter, which is The Real Deal WDA. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat at The Real Deal, W as in whiskey, D as in Delta, A as in Alpha on all those platforms. And like The Real Deal with Damian Adams Facebook page. And subscribe on YouTube because now we got full episodes of the podcast and a lot more videos there. And don't forget to check out the 3pointconversion.com. I'm starting to get back into the writing game. I'm going to have more articles up on there as well. And until next time, go real motherfucker or go home motherfucker.